If you're someone who needs to make smart decisions in today's day and age, this video is for you. Now, we all live in a world that is saturated with data. Every single second of every single minute, we are getting bombarded with information coming from our social media, our phones, the world around us, all the screens that are in our houses and in our workplaces and in our universities. Who are getting bombarded by all these pieces of information. How are we supposed to make smart, rational decisions when we're being bombarded with so much information that we can't cope? Now, I know how that feels, to be bombarded by so much information that your brain basically can't keep up. Now, it's a blessing and a curse that we, at the current moment, have so much information right at our fingertips. In our phones, when we're scrolling through the web, I bet you must be right now on a social media website. You've just been consuming lots and lots of information. Instead of being more informed of our decisions, now it feels like we're getting pulled in so many directions that we need to become people who are proficient in surviving in the flood of information that we're receiving right now. So how do we overcome with this problem? Well, what we do is we set up things called mental models. Now, mental models are tools and ways of thinking and algorithms that allow us to better cope with the information that we're given from the world around us. And one of the most important mental models for us to have is framing. Now, what is framing? Framing is a mental model that can be used. It's a tool that can be used whenever we face a new problem or a new situation in our lives. So framing tells us that every single time we come across a problem or a question we need to solve, we need to take a step back and ask 3 questions. The first question is, should I even solve this problem? If I solve this problem, will another problem pop up in its place, or will it cause even more problems down the line? So this is the first question we have to ask ourselves. Sometimes the problem isn't even a problem at all, and instead we're just procrastinating, or it comes as a result of one of our insecurities or something similar. The second question we need to ask, after we've confirmed that this is indeed a problem that we need to solve, is, do we need to solve this problem immediately? If you can defer this problem to a later time, right, that is actually better for you. And it might sound weird, me telling you to postpone this problem to a later time, but what you actually need to ask yourself is this problem important for me to solve at the current moment? Because I'm telling you something that you might think that, oh, I have 5 problems, but in fact only 1 or 2 are important for you to do at the current moment, and the other 3 can be deferred to a later you who has 2 less problems on his or her sleeve. And it's a lot easier for you to focus on solving 2 problems, then another 2 problems, then another 2 problems, instead of solving 6 problems all at once. Okay, finally, after you've asked yourself, is this a problem I need to solve? Do I need to solve this problem right now? You need to ask yourself, does this problem need to be solved by me? Or is it better to be solved by someone else? Now, what this means is sometimes, especially if you are in a managerial position and you've been given the responsibility to lead in some extent. Now, sometimes what we do is we take problems that should be delegated to other people onto ourselves. This is a whole other issue. But the important point is, as long as we clear up that all the tasks that we're doing must only be done by us, what we do is we understand that we're human beings. We have strengths, we have weaknesses, and we have unique abilities. And what I can do, and what I can solve in the most efficient, best manner, someone else might not be able to do. And there's someone else who might be working just beside me who would be better suited to the task that I'm trying to do. For example, I'm horrible at design and making things look good, right? I'm more of the planning type and actually doing the work, but in order to make it look presentable and look good, that's not something that I'm necessarily good at, or something that I feel like I'm naturally talented at. And that's fine, that's totally fine. And in fact, what I need to do when I come towards an issue like that is I need to delegate it to someone who is better suited to that task. They can do it a lot better in a short period of time using much less resources than I can. Now, the benefit for us to ask these 3 questions is that what we're doing is we are narrowing the funnel. Right? We're focusing and we're getting really focused on what it is we actually need to focus on, right? What problems we need to solve. And what that does is it allows us to better manage the flow of information. And what happens when we don't do this? Right? When we don't do this, we get overloaded with information because we have too many problems that we're trying to solve. And in fact, we have so many problems that we're trying to solve that our brain cannot process all the information that it needs from all the sources, right? Our brain just can't handle it. So what we need to do is we need to narrow down the amount of problems. So the first, is this a problem that's a problem that I actually need to fix? Secondly, is this a problem that I need to fix at the current moment? Is this the best time for it, or is it better later? And the final one is, does this problem even need to be solved by me? And as long as we can answer those three questions, right, this is called the mental model of framing. And if we do this, we can better manage the flow of information. And if we don't do it, what happens is we get overloaded with all the stuff. Thank you for listening. I look forward to talking to you next time.